What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm sorry. My sister has this. My sister has this blanket. It's like this heated blanket, and it was just warm on my legs, and I'm like, honestly, like, it feels nice, but like, I just didn't want to just make it seem like I was just touching her leg, mysteriously. Hello, all, and welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. I know I made this all Alabama like. Welcome all to the Heel Turn Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson Jr. And look, we're here. We're gonna call this the layer. We're gonna call this the layer. This is why like half of my body is kind of cut off a little bit. We have to kind of angle this camera, a certain way. Of course, the podcast room is under construction, so this is gonna be the new scenery for now, and I'm gonna figure it out. I might have some candles in the background. I might have a mysterious laugh to go with it. This is gonna make this a nice little layer. The only problem is I just don't want like a candle falling and then my bed is gone. It's like, well, not even the bed, and the house is gone. It's like I'm over here worried about like where I'm gonna sleep, where I'm gonna live. It's like period. But Monday Night Raw happened. It's like Monday Night Raw happened. This is, of course, since let me turn this back around. This is the Heel Turn 30. Of course, we had a couple of these last week, Monday Night Raw and AEW Dynamite. Hold on. There it goes. Let's talk about SmackDown 2. Let's talk about SmackDown 2. Now that we got a little bit of time today, let's talk about SmackDown. We're going to get into SmackDown. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Happy 30th, sir. Happy 30th. Happy 30th? So either today's the 30th, I'm 27. It's just like, are you 30? But what's good, C Fluid? How you living, my brother? How are you doing? We have, of course, the show, the Heel Turn 30. Like I said, we just go over Monday Night Raw or whatever event that happened in the day, and we go over it in 30 minutes just because we're hard work. We're just working individuals. And so, but we still wanted to make content and also have some fun as well. So we figure squishing it all in 30 minutes is definitely the way to go. But of course, we do have to look at a little bit of what happened on SmackDown as well, just mainly because, of course, we get to celebrate our new champion, Drew McIntyre, and he asks us the biggest question, the huge question: where were you? Where were you when he was, of course, strumming it up with the 3-man band, and then, of course, strumming it up into the unemployment line, just not doing absolutely nothing, but, of course, making his way over to TNA and also building, of course, a reputation for himself. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Oh, I get it now. Sorry, I thought you were 30. Nah, brother. I got 3 years left. I got 3 years left. Right now, I'm 27. I'm in the prime. That's what, of course, at least in basketball, football terms, athletic terms, as soon as you hit 27, oh man, you're in your golden years. If you don't win a ring within the next 3 years, I'm sorry, brother, you're washed. It's just like you're done for. So I got to be a millionaire within the next 3 years, or I'm washed. It's like that. We're figuring out here now. We're all figuring it out as we go along here. So look, man, I'm just happy to be back on, man. We're just happy to be at least a little consistent. Got a new pad, sir. Actually, that's coming soon. And it's, you know what? Shut up. I'll hold on. Actually, I think I spoiled it already, so I can tell you. I think I said this already before. But I'm working on getting a crib. And not only am I working on getting a crib, it's also next to like this psychotic human being that I'm gonna have to maybe like kind of call for help for for numerous occasions. And his name goes by Deadly Crimes. It's like, long story short, Deadly Crimes, of course, the co-host of the Heel Turn Podcast, has a spot right next door to him. Of course, that's waiting to be took by your boy, but it's just a matter of just waiting it out. You are in a different room is why I asked. Oh yeah, it's under construction. It's under construction. Of course, the room, the podcast room, is under construction right now. So we're now in the path of fortress, the lair. So at least that's what I like to call it, the lair, the fortress here. So yeah, that's the coolest part of it all. And so it's been pretty smooth. It's been pretty smooth. I've been having a whole lot of fun, at least getting back to the daily grind with this whole thing. I know we missed Friday. Friday was just a work day, so we was rumbling and rambling all over the place. I worked Saturday as well. Just wanted to let that be thrown out there. I worked Saturday, so Saturday night main event, a review show might be a little late, or it might be on a Sunday where me and Devin might just do a flagship show in its entirety. And so I think that might see what Circle of Debate is doing. Definitely might see what Circle of Debate and your boys are doing. But see, Floyd, what's good with you, brother? How are you living? I was like, it's been a minute since we chopped it up for sure. We also got, of course, your new champion, Drew McIntyre. Like you said, asking us where were we when he was over there in TNA, of course, having to make a way for himself. Drew Galloway being the man, the myth, the legend that he was, getting back into the WWE. I think he started off as Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard, if you guys remember that. And then, of course, making his way to become champion, beating the brakes off of Brock Lesnar, which was a whole lot of fun seeing that. Just super cool all around. And Drew McIntyre deserves to win this WWE championship, because when you look at it all, when you look at 2020, when we talk about Drew McIntyre being the COVID champion, this was earned. This was 100% earned. I definitely think that this is having him win a championship and paraded around fans, spitting the promo, and especially as a heel too. And so I think that's super cool. And which is also, another reason why you can kind of look at him as being a bit of a hypocrite. Because he's like, where were you guys when I was fired? Well, we were here when you won the championship. It's like we were here with you when you won the championship and had a solid run. I mean, we wanted you to win at Clash at the Castle. But we'll get into why, people don't win in their hometowns a little bit later. So, but of course, Randy Orton took on The Miz. Randy Orton, of course, beat up and destroyed The Miz. And honestly, The Miz don't deserve this. The Miz don't deserve that at all. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Agreed. Drew deserved it. Drew 100% deserves it. I definitely fully agree. The Miz, like you said, he deserves a whole lot more. And honestly, even seeing his CVV interview, at least I ain't watched the whole thing. I just seen a clip of it where he talked about him just having bubbles. It's just like guys have huge pyro. I mean, John Cena had clones of himself, as he's walking past. John had to hire CM Punk, to like, hey man, I need you to hold this AK, as I'm getting out of this car here. A huge shout out to Devin the Tribal Chief. Yo, what's good? What's good, brother? Hey, look, I know we're not heartbroken. It hurts. I don't know why DJ Moore stopped running, brother. I don't know why DJ Moore stopped running. But at the end of the day, it was a fun season. This is just for the Bears fans. This is for the Bears fans out here. Look, because this was a great season. Okay. As soon as I seen 4th and whatever, I was like, Caleb Williams is gonna pull this off. I knew better not to judge this man or not to go against this man. And he launched some bull jive. And it just landed into the hands of Cole Komet. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Oh, just an outright classic. But as a Bears fan, your luck just has to run out. Your luck. It was just a matter of time. Your luck was just gonna run out at some point. I'm just glad it happened against the Rams and not in the Super Bowl. I would have loved for the Bears to have been in the Super Bowl, but I don't think I can handle that heartbreak just yet. If the Bears are going to the Super Bowl, I want to be confident in the Bears winning the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to go on the Bears tangent. I just saw the boy Devin the Tribal Chief. I saw his stream. By the way, also follow your boy Devin the Tribal Chief. A whole lot of fun. Like I said, high energy, high velocity, insane wrestling knowledge. And on top of that, just an outright great guy and just fun to communicate and talk to. So huge shout out to Devin the Tribal Chief. This man streams nonstop. We always talk about how Circle of Debate is 24/7. I mean, this is Mr. 24/7 here. So huge shout out to Devin the Tribal Chief. Go give your boy a follow. Huge shout out to him as well. Right. It was still a great season by the Bears, 100%. I just couldn't, even though I'm hurt, about the, result of it all, still a great season. It just makes me so hyped to see what's coming up next for the Chicago Bears. I don't care about what's going to happen next for Kiana James and Julia. Honestly, I do love me some Julia. Kiana James, it is what it is. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, of course, in their tag match. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss did get the dub here. And, of course, they're still trying to come back from losing the tag titles. And of course, the Kabuki Warriors losing the tag titles as well. You know, it's just like in that chain of in those chains of events there. Huge shout out to C Fluid. I'm not disappointed at all with the Bears. Nah, like I don't know how you could. You know, it's just like they pulled it out and more. And you know what's crazy for the Chicago fans out there? The Bulls and the Bears are in reverse. You know, it's like the Bears, they'll struggle in the first half, and then you'll see hope, and they'll come back and do some craziness to win the game. The Bulls, they'll have a solid first half. Man, try to ask them to play defense in that third and fourth. It's impossible. Like, it is impossible. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on the Chicago tangent because we'll be here all day. We'll be here. I got to get something off my chest. Huge shout out to Devin. Appreciate this out. Nah, bro. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Like, we was just talking about that with me and Devin. I was like, it was Devin the Tribal Chief. It was Justin. Like, when we first started, like, man, I was like, y'all showed us a whole lot of love, and still to this day, it was like that was like 4 years ago. Like, and it was just, you know, we're just definitely appreciate you guys, and still love to see you guys, especially love to see you on the Raw reaction videos. Like, that's tough, brother. Like, I just think that's so cool. Of course, you shout out to C Fluid. Facts, man. Yeah, like the Bulls get on my last nerves. And if you want to watch videos about the Chicago Bulls, of course, Bulls Digest working there as well. Of course, it's not just me. You got my boy Shaq as well. You got my guy John. And we do some great videos, talk about the Chicago Bulls. It's Bulls Digest on Digest Media, of course, and we have a whole lot of fun. Well, at least I have fun, and I get brain aneurysms, of course, getting at the Chicago Bears. I mean, getting at the Chicago Bulls. Okay, now I'm going all over the place. But of course, looking at Cody Rhodes, I'm more than positive that Cody Rhodes is going to bounce back after losing the WWE Championship. Look, Cody Rhodes will be just fine. Like, we seen Cody Rhodes lose at the grandest stage of them all, of course, to the Roman Reigns, and then bounce back in amazing fashion. You know, he kind of had that. If you guys remember the Bianca Belair run that she went on when I believe that was SummerSlam, when Becky Lynch came in, returned, won the championship from Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair had to get to the back of the line, and she had to beat almost everybody on the women's roster to get to WrestleMania and beat Becky Lynch. And I was just like, man, this is a great story. And to have that story, Bianca has to be durable. And that's exactly what she was. Same thing with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes lost in WrestleMania. For you to go to the next WrestleMania on and to tell this story of, I have to finish this story, and to stay durable at that. And even when you didn't stay durable, let's, go to a year prior or 2 years prior, before him winning the championship. You got to stay durable. I'm not durable. I just pretty much ripped something in my arm. Now my arm is looking like, it's turning into something, I don't know, it looked like Vecna got a hold of me, Stranger Things style, but at the end of the day, he came through, he wrestled Seth Rollins, and he still put on a banger of a performance. So it's like, even when you're not available, even when you're not durable, you're still available. That's what I meant to say. Dang, I messed it up. That would have been hard. But outside of that, I do think that Cody Rhodes will be just fine. You know who else will be just fine? Trick Williams. Jeez, man. Trick Williams was like, the crowd just loved that man. He came out there like, what do the kids call it? Aura? Like that. That's what, like, it was insane. He looked like me out there. Like, it was, I loved everything about Trick Williams. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to I know y'all ain't gonna let that slide. But I thought Trick Williams looked amazing. Trick Williams looked so cold. And I was just talking about this early on, like the fact that Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, even though they're on two separate brands, they got to do something together. Like, we got to see something. And obviously we should, with the Royal Rumble coming up. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Trick is the future. Y'all, yeah, 100%. I didn't believe it in NXT. I was like, yeah, he's a good NXT champion, but I don't necessarily see him as a future WWE champion. I see him as a nice mid-carder right now. And then, of course, I'll see where he builds to when he comes up. But looking at Devin the Tribal Chief, the future of the WWE actually looks good. Yes, it actually does. You know what? Let's jump. Let's jump from SmackDown to Raw real fast. Because speaking of the future, we just saw the future go down, and with Javon Evans, of course, taking on El Grande Americano, and it looks like it's a shoulder injury. And I talked about this in a couple streams ago. Like Javon Evans, you're insanely young, so of course you have all the time in the world to, have the run that you deserve to go on, and of course do the things that you want to do in the wrestling business and the wrestling industry. But man, those high risk maneuvers are, like gravity don't care for you, brother. It's like gravity don't care for you at all. And even though I love me some Javon Evans, I love to say that boy's pause. I love to say that boy's bouncy, but at the end of the day, like, it still comes with a risk. So I can't necessarily always be shocked, when we hear that Javon Evans suffered an injury. I mean, you guys seen that Tiffany Stratton video of her, leaning off the ladder, her leg coming off the ropes, slipping, and her just almost breaking her neck. Just imagine, oh my goodness, just imagine. Excuse me, I had a burp there. I had some ghetto juice earlier. I can explain that later. But just imagine hearing or getting that notification that Tiffany Stratton broke her neck, unable to compete. Like, how would they explain that? What happened? It's like what went wrong? What went wrong? It was in practice. It was in, how would WWE have explained that? How would Tiffany Stratton explain that? It's so much stuff that goes with that. So it's crazy. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Truth be told, I always thought that Trick would have a bigger presence on the main roster than Melo. No shade to Melo. That's the thing. Like, I thought Melo was that guy, man. And, Melo always had, he shined more than Trick in NXT at a point in time. And of course, until, the tail end of his run. But I definitely thought Carmelo Hayes was going to be that guy. And now, of course, we're seeing a little bit that he can, but it's tough. It's really, really tough. Of course, we had Damian Priest defeating Solo Sikoa. But of course, there was a whole lot of craziness in the match as well. And of course, the Howdy Gang, the Wyatt Six, are still trying to torment Solo Sikoa, which I think is pretty cool. Still gives them something to do. I love me some Leon Slater, though. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep you, but Leon Slater is so dope. Even though Carmelo Hayes did get the win in the open challenge, like, Leon Slater's just a dog. And Carmelo Hayes is just super cool, too. Carmelo Hayes is insanely talented. He shows you what he can do on a daily basis in the ring. In terms of promo, in terms of in-ring work, everything. I mean, I still remember the time he beat up and pinned and beat Akira Tozawa. He gets on the middle rope, just starts burying the man. Like, that's dirty. It's a dirty game. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Melo is more skilled than Trick, but Trick has that WWE size that they love. Plus, he's charismatic. There it goes. I will put a pause in between there, but I'm not gonna. But honestly, I do agree. He does have the WWE. He has that WWE size, that build. You look at Trick Williams, you look at Braun Breaker, and it's just like, man. You look at Powerhouse Hobbs, whatever his name is going to be. Powerhouse Billy. It's just like, because Ricky Saints. Ricky didn't have to work too hard. Let's see how hard Powerhouse Hobbs has to work. But honestly, like, Carmelo Hayes, like you said, is just absolutely charismatic. I think Trick Williams, honestly, Carmelo Hayes just got it quicker. I think he got it quicker than Trick Williams, at least in my eyes. He said he was shot as a Devin the Tribal Chief. Solo was wilding for coming out with the Wyatt Lantern. Hey, man. He was shot at the Solo Sikoa, man. The funniest Samoan in that family. Yeah, I said it. I'm sorry. Where's my sound effects? I didn't even get my sound effects in here. See, I messed up. Now I gotta repeat what I just said. See, hold on. Where's all my sound effects at? That's bogus. I can't believe I just joined. I can't believe I just joined here and did all this without all that. See, what was that? But I honestly, for the life of me, don't know why they just don't let Solo Sikoa just do his own thing. Like how they do it with Jacob Fatu. Like Jacob Fatu, of course, had his family, but then he was like, man, I gotta do my own thing. Like I'm a dog. You know, it's like, well, more than I'm a dog, I'm a werewolf. You know, it's like, get me out of here. Like, which I love. But at the end of the day, like I got it. Like Solo Sikoa is just not on top of that. He's funny, but he could be intimidating at the same time. And of course, he put the work in the ring. So, you know, I think he is just more than cold and more than capable of holding his own in the ring.
Boing, boing.
That was the wrong one. That was the wrong one. I'm gonna keep it there. Let's keep it there. We're gonna forget that never happened. We're gonna forget that one will never happen. But outside of that, I do think that what's it called? I do think that, of course, Solo Sikoa holding his own, doing his own thing. Because I thought he was going to be the next Samoan up before, of course, Jacob Fatu came into the mix. He was supposed to be the next Samoan up. Him and Cody Rhodes were battling it out for almost a year. You know, so you would have thought they would have put the strap on him. But, you know, it just didn't happen. Huge shout out to C Fluid. It would be insane if Powerhouse would be placed with the New Day and take Big E's spot in the crowd. Oh, I like that. I like that. You know, I was like that. That's honestly not a bad idea. That's honestly not. And not on top of that, you know, he can still be intimidating. He doesn't even have to talk. We don't even have to make him talk yet. Not have to make him talk yet, like he's, you know, some type of, you know, but like he doesn't even have to say a word. You know, he can just come in there silent. You know, we know who he is. The only thing I'm upset about is that he's losing his theme music. Powerhouse. That is so cold, man. That is the coldest thing. Like, just imagine, because that's how it used to be. You was getting jumped by Ricky Saints. You was getting jumped by, I forgot who else it was. It was like a group of people, but you would get jumped by so many people, and as you're feeling all these boots to your face and abdomen, all you hear in the background is powerhouse. You squint open your eye, and it's this huge chocolate of a man just coming to do you worse than these five guys can ever. You know, it's just like, it's crazy. Like, it's just, hold on, it's crazy. You're done. Like, at the end of the day, like, I love me some Powerhouse Hobbs. I do think he's gonna do some great work here in WWE. I'm just upset that he's missing his theme music. Yeah, that's the only thing I have a problem with. Chelsea Green talked about, you know, wins and losses don't matter, but that's because she's always on the losing end. So, you know, it is what it is. But I say that because Jordynne Grace beat Chelsea Green. Of course, Jordynne Grace is on the rise right now. Gotta make her look fairly good right now. Sami Zayn decided to give Ilya Dragunov the beats mid-match. I don't know what that was about. Jeez. Ilya Dragunov, of course, was busted open in the match. A huge shout out to Ilya Dragunov. Like, he wasn't deterred at all. Like, he just kept rolling with the punches. Like, you see things like Shane McMahon and Chris Jericho, where Shane McMahon is pretty much, you know, hitting him with his fire rapid Muhammad Ali punches, and Chris Jericho is like, oh man, this kind of hurt. Ooh, this kind of hurt. Man, okay, the first opening I get, he gets on the middle rope, drop kick in your face. Bah! You know, it's just like instantly. He told not only Shane McMahon, but us around the world, like, Shane needs to calm himself down. Shane needs to relax himself before he get himself hurt. Please, some of y'all remember that. It was like, please, some of y'all remember. It was like Shane McMahon just throwing, it wasn't haymakers, but, you know, just jabs at Chris Jericho. And you just see Chris Jericho get so hot. He gets on the middle rope, of course, after they wrestled for a little bit. Gets on the middle rope and hits him with just the meanest drop kick. It was tough. A huge shout out to C Fluid. He's always bleeding in his matches. Too much for WWE. Yeah, it is. But Ilya Dragunov, he's a tough man. Now, he's a tough dude. And he rolls with the punches. No pun intended. You know, he's always going to put the work in. And so, and they put on a banger of a match. So, honestly, I had zero problem with SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was pretty tough for the most part. Like, nothing to salivate about, but also nothing to really cry and complain about either. But Monday Night Raw was actually pretty solid. I thought Monday Night Raw was pretty cool. I thought Gunter being the career killer, I think it's nice. It's not the legend killer Randy Orton, but he's the career killer. I'm getting you out of here. You're an old head. You thinking about retiring? Think no more. Get in the ring with me. Let me choke you out real fast. It's just like that's Gunter, man. Of course, Gunter walked out to AJ Styles. It was like, man, I'll fight you, but put that career on the line. It's like you got to give me something to fight for, brother. And that's what I love, because that means you're always going to get the best out of Gunter, and I think that's automatic. I think that's the beautiful part about this whole thing. You're going to get the big bad, and of course the best of Gunter, where I'm going to try everything in my power to get you out of here. That's what we saw, against John Cena. That's what we saw against Jey Uso, at a point in time. That's the fun part about Gunter. It's just like, especially when you saw him laughing at a point in time where, of course, he didn't take his opponent seriously. Then, of course, guys like Jey Uso, guys like AJ Styles, he'll just get in your face and just be like, look, I'll fight you, but this is going to be the worst decision you've ever made in your life. I'm going to embarrass you. It is what it is. Like, let me actually come here. Let me tell you closer. Let me tell you actually, let me tell you a little bit closer. But honestly, I love me some Gunter. Gunter could do no wrong in my eyes, honestly. It's impossible. Like, I'm sorry. And so, honestly, being a career killer, I think it's pretty cool. Becky Lynch taking on Maxxine Dupree. Man, I'm not going to say this TikTok was controversial, because it wasn't. Like, I don't think people had a problem with the video. But I pretty much just said that Natalya should be in Maxxine's position. And there were some people that were like, you were tripping, not tripping. They just said, one person just literally said, nah. Just like, he just literally commented, nah. Like, what, thank you. I appreciate you. It's like, but at the end of the day, I do think that Natalya is way better fitted in this position. Whoa, hold up. What was that, C Fluid? Prayers to the female ref in WWE, Asia Smith. Her and her husband was in a bad accident. Is that Leon Ruff too? Hold on. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Asia Smith. Let's go to news. 16 to the rescue. Hello? Let's go on Google this time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go like delay this whole thing. I was just nosy. I want to see what's going on here, because that sounds like absolutely terrible. He says yes, yeah, Leon Ruff. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I was like, I do remember Leon Ruff. Google, take me to Google. Awesome. I was like, if I can't find it on the website, then I definitely got to find it on Twitter. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it on Twitter. But honestly, looking back at it all, looking back at Maxxine Dupree and the work she's put in, like I said, she put in great work in the ring. But I think it was that. What's the word? It was that vignette. It was that video of her and Natalya battling back and forth, and then her putting Natalya. It's like they were in the dark, and they tried to make it seem like they were in some like heart dungeon, but they weren't. And Maxxine Dupree taps out. She makes Natalya tap, and that's just unreal. Like, Natalya should pretzel you. It's just like Natalya should definitely get the handle of you, at least in my eyes. But honestly, I'm kind of happy that they're doing this. I just wish they would have done this in reverse. Put some respect on my name. What? Sheriff from Brother Lane. Asia Smith, WWE. Huh. I don't know. I haven't seen anything just yet. But I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll have to look it up in a minute. Ooh, but here goes something here. I can share this with you guys. Let's look at this. I'm actually going to screen share this. Boom. All right, cool. You guys can see that there. Javon Evans is said to be okay after his match was stopped on Raw. There was not a concern over an injury, but worry over a possible concussion. Evans was checked out backstage and left the show to travel with the roster. It is said it does not appear that he suffered a concussion, but it cannot be confirmed 100%. This is coming from PWI Insider Elite. So Javon Evans is said to be okay. They were worried of a possible injury. So I missed the spot. We were on commercial. I know some people are able to see what's going on. They're still able to watch the live broadcast of what's happening during commercial, but I didn't. It's like I totally missed. I didn't see it at all, so I'm to completely miss what happened and what went wrong with Javon Evans. But I'm glad he's okay. I'm 100% glad he's okay, and just he's gonna build up over. I mean, let me screen share this. I don't mean to just pretty much, get all up on the man's physique, but like for us to talk about how skinny he is, he still has some size. This is what Swerve Strickland, this is what Isaiah Scott was looking like, in WWE. So, over time, I definitely think he's gonna build up. He's gonna look fire. At the end of the day, okay, I'm done.
Boing boing.
I'm getting off of it. I'm sorry. I'm getting off of it. At the end of the day, I do think that Javon Evans. Now that I know where my buttons are, I can press the right button. But I think Javon Evans is gonna build up over time and be an absolute dog. He's gonna build some muscle. He's definitely gonna look like Swerve Strickland within the next couple years. And you don't always have to be bouncy, buddy. You can stay on the ground. And I think that's all gonna change once you turn heel too. Once you turn heel, you could definitely change up your wrestling style. I can see him, getting on the ropes, jumping on the middle rope and then just landing on his own 2 feet. Like, man, y'all don't want this bounciness, man. I'm done bouncing. It's just like we staying on the ground here. And honestly, I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait for it. I would like Maxxine Dupree to win. Well, that's what I would have liked. I would have liked Maxxine Dupree to win. And then Natalya turn on her. It's just like, Natalya, yeah, you won. I did. We trained together. We worked hard to get you to where you are today. And now I want to take it from you. I want to take everything from you. Everything from you. And I love it. And I would absolutely love it. But that's the thing, that with Natalya, she's the sacrifice here. We got to make Maxxine Dupree look really nice. And that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to look like. Honestly, I was thinking that too. Javon Evans built, he says Javon Evans built, kind of remind me of this boxer named, Deontay Wilder. I was thinking of Deontay Wilder. I was like, oh man. I was thinking the same thing. But honestly, I fully agree. But I definitely wish Natalya and Maxxine Dupree would have done this for the IC title instead of just, Maxxine Dupree getting screwed out of the title, because I feel like that would have been more effective. Natalya, just celebrating in the ring with Maxxine. You worked hard to get to where you are today. We love everything you're doing. It's just like just a mean forearm. That's just something that we need from, it's like she want to be this tough, mean animal, that was in the heart dungeon. Like I said, putting people in pretzels. That's what we want to see from Natalya. That's all we need. It was just, look, I love everything that we've done together. We was in those dungeons. You made me tap out. WWE aired it. I allowed it. It's like and I'm happy that you won the IC title. Just right there. Just right there, right in the neck. But okay, I'm done. Back to being civil. Where we at right now? Of course, the Vision took on Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee, which I thought was a whole lot of fun, especially with Adam Pearce at ringside. I thought that was super cool. Of course, the Vision tried to cheat, had the brass knuckles. Adam Pearce snitched. He snitched on the Vision. The brass knuckles would somehow got into Adam Pearce's possession. I think he took it from I think Bronson, because after they found it and exposed it to the ref, he snatched it from Bronson, or snatched it from Austin. Yeah, he snatched it from Austin. There it goes. He goes, I had to challenge play that. I had to throw a flag out there, but he still. But he threw it to Austin. Austin got it snatched from Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce coincidentally put it on the apron of the ring while yelling at Paul Heyman. Rey Mysterio turned heel all of a sudden and grabbed the knuckles, showing once again that he's a deadbeat father, and of course hitting Austin Theory with the knuckles, and then Austin Theory getting hit with every single finisher in the book for him to lose this match. Austin Theory, look, I love you, brother. You do deserve more. I think Logan Paul should have ate that pin for sure, but at the end of the day, somebody had to. And when Seth Rollins comes back, all you guys except for Bronson are done for. Well, except for Braun are done for. I think Bronson gonna get dealt with. I definitely think Bronson gonna get dealt with. And I think the sad part about it with Braun Breaker, I would love for Braun Breaker to be champion. I would love for Braun Breaker to beat CM Punk. But I don't want what happened to Maxxine Dupree happen to Braun Breaker. What I mean by that is interference or something getting in the way of Braun Breaker, like a Seth Rollins interference. I don't want that. It's just like that's. I don't want that at all. Let the man win. Let's drag some. Let's put some money in this with the title on the line. I want to see stakes. I don't want to see Seth Rollins got to get his get back on the title. Oh, Maxxine got to get her get. No, there shouldn't be get back involved at all. No, there's got to be. Look, I'm sick of you. You got this title. I've hated you for a while now. Let's do this. We were just talking about. See, and that's the thing. We were just talking about this with Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dane. Because Izzy Dane turned on Tatum and cost Tatum the title. Now, of course, Izzy Dane ended up getting the title at the end of the day. But why didn't you just go through all this through Tatum when Tatum had the title to begin with? So it's crazy. It's just a whole crazy conundrum. Huge shout out to C Fluid. No disrespect, but CM Punk's matches are very slow lately. Yeah, they are, honestly. Man, look, man, CM Punk, he's old. Like, we're gonna be honest. CM, not only is he old, but think about the injuries. Think about the injuries. Let's start off from AEW. I'm talking ankle injury. I'm talking shoulder injury. I'm talking Brawl for All injuries. We can't forget that this man came out of Brawl for All. He wasn't gone for 8 months because he was suspended. He was gone for 8 months because he was injured and then had to serve his suspension. So he was gone for this, like, it wasn't, so it's not like CM Punk himself. I won't necessarily say it's like a spring chicken type deal, but I won't necessarily say that CM Punk is like the most durable man in the world, because like there's guys his age that can still go and can still stay healthy, but CM Punk has been ever since AEW. He came to WWE injured. See, Drew McIntyre won the title. What they call it? Not DX. What's it called? Chop, chopping your yeah, like I forgot. It's dang, what's the word for it? It's like the old school. Let me stop doing that. But like, I forgot what it was called. It's like an old school version for like before DX. It's like what the elderly call it. But we saw the celebration that Drew McIntyre had over CM Punk. CM Punk was in a cast, when we saw him at WrestleMania. So it's like CM Punk stays. I won't necessarily say stays injured. That's disrespectful. He's injury prone. I think we could throw him in that injury prone category for sure. Even when after he fought Drew McIntyre, what was his comments after the Hell in a Cell match? Yeah, I'm gonna take some time off. Goodbye, y'all. I'm out of here. I'm tired. I'm tired, and I work with children. I'm out of here. Like it was about that time. It was, and so CM Punk, man, I'm happy that he's on this Europe trip, and I'm happy that he's been durable, and I'm happy that he is champion, and this run has been all right, but I do think it's coming at a cost. He's not going to be, flying all over the ropes like he used to, and I think that's what really sucks the most. And I hope I hope Braun Breaker wins the Royal Rumble for sure. That's my pick, honestly. Braun Breaker is my pick to win the Royal Rumble, 100%. I would say Oba, but I definitely think it's gonna be Braun Breaker for sure. 100%. And if it is, then we're gonna get a new champion on our hands. We're gonna get a guy that's gonna be young. It's gonna be fresh. He shout out to C Fluid. He says, "Yes, I agree. If Punk farts the wrong way, he'll get injured." 100%, man. 100%. And it's been sad. It's been sad. He got hurt jumping the rail. He got hurt jumping the rail. Let me celebrate with my fans. My leg. It's like, where's my sounder? I should have got my leg sounder. It's just like, but that's we saw CM Punk get injured on numerous occasions, and like I said, it's great that he's champion. We needed this last run, but do you guys think we're gonna be talking about it the way we're gonna be talking about John Cena's run, John Cena's last run? This thing's, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. That's what I think. I believe that's just my thought process. That's just my thought process. Rio, of course, came through talking about Saturday night's main event. They're taking on Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Liv Morgan had a point. Look, I'm glad. I'm glad that we came through. Me and Devin was talking about the clips to put out for social media, and of course, both of them for TikTok was Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Of course, saying the turning point for them was Rhea Ripley telling Liv Morgan, "I'll have fun in rehab," where she injured her shoulder. Disrespectful, crazy, and everything that Liv Morgan did after that justified. I'm sorry. You can't take that disrespect. It's like you just can't take that type of disrespect. She was like, "I'm taking your man." And you got to took, obviously. And so Liv Morgan came out and said, "You can't trust Rhea Ripley." You want to know why? Because I was tag team partners with her. You know what's crazy? She was tag team partners with her on numerous occasions. She was tag team partners with her when she was all, wearing all black and just completely golf. And she was tag team partners with her when she had the blonde hair. So it's like she knew two sides. She knew two sides of Rhea Ripley. And so who knows her better than her? Who knows her better than her? So I got, I'm not trying to be a Liv Morgan. I know Devin ain't here to be the Liv Morgan Glazer. Well, look, boing. So somebody got to do it. Somebody got to be the Liv Morgan Glazer, and it's gonna be me. So, of course, we did talk about Javon Evans. I'm gonna skip through that because, like I said, this is supposed to be the heel turn 30. It's the heel turn 45. It's gonna be the heel turn 50 in a minute. But of course, no, it's not, because CM Punk took on Finn Balor. It's the main event of the evening. CM Punk took on Finn Balor, of course. Finn Balor in the hometown, you already know what that means. Instant L. You're just like instant L unless you're the Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. You guys ever notice that? Every time WWE was in Ohio, it was the Miz taking on Dolph Ziggler, and whoever was the heel resided in California. It's just like, I'm telling you guys, look it up. I was watching that since I was like, I think it was not middle school, but like high school, because it was like the Miz resided in California, and then he got booed, and I was like, oh well, okay, that makes sense. And then college, it was vice versa. I'm like, something ain't adding up here. It's like something's not adding up. But I'm sorry, I got on a tangent. I'm sorry, but of course, you're in your hometown. You have a match. Get ready to lose, brother. And that's what Finn Balor did. But he put up a really, really great fight. But Finn Balor always puts up some solid matches. I always love Finn Balor matches. So I never complain when Finn Balor's on a match card. I have zero problem with Finn Balor in his matches. And of course, they kept it close. They kept it insanely close. I will say, to C Fluid's credit, this match was slow until like the tail end of it. Till the very tail end of the match, I think, that's when it really got exciting. Because of course there's nothing but near falls. But excuse me. But I do think that CM Punk, of course, I won't necessarily say he's lost a he has lost a step. He's injured, he's old. It's just like, but I won't necessarily say that he's washed. I'm not ready to say that CM Punk's washed yet. I'm not ready. Chris Jericho, he's washed. Like that's washed. I'm like, when I think of washed, I'm like, all right, brother, like, should we be thinking about hanging it up now? It's like, should we be thinking about calling it quits? It's like, and that's where I'm at with Chris Jericho. It's like, I don't think I'm at that with CM Punk just yet. Not even just yet. I think he's far from that, honestly. I still think he has about a good 4 years left. I think he has about a good 2 years left. I think he has about a good 2 years left. I don't think CM Punk's gonna be wrestling for another 4. 2, definitely. 4, I think I'm asking for a lot here. Finn Balor, I think Finn Balor, I mean, he's in great shape. Like, you got to give it to Finn Balor. Like, for him to be that, I think he's got to be touching 50, right? Finn Balor age. My guy is 44 years old, not touching 50, but 44 years old, like, but he's still like, that's great physique. Boing, boing. Like, just absolutely amazing. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Punk be moving like my grandpa in the ring. To be honest, maybe Punk would be a great fit in the ring rise for Billy Corgan's NWA. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Don't do it to CM Punk. I don't believe you. You take that back. You take that back. NWA? Like, that's insane. Like, I can see that for a Christian. Like, I'm telling you, Chris Jericho for sure. Chris Jericho needs to be an NWA walking out with no entrance. You know, it's just like, but man, I don't think CM Punk's there yet. Huge shout out to IU. Huge shout out to IU, of course, national champions. Got that playing in the background. Was watching that game as well. And that was the number one thing I was seeing, because and now I'm jumping over to the NFL. I'm jumping over to sports too, but like, there's videos of Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills crying. Like, Josh Allen was like, I let my team down, and the offensive line, Deion Dawkins, I believe, he's like, well, he thinks that we let him down. Like, he thinks he let us down. Like, he's crying. Like, when these guys and everybody on like the comment section are like, man, we're watching grown men cry. We're watching, like, just imagine, like, you work your absolute hardest to strive for something. And year after year after year after year, you'll get closer and closer. Maybe not so close, maybe not so. And then you get closer and closer. Then somebody almost dies. It's just like, and I'm not even trying to, but like, literally, somebody literally almost dies. And you just inch to a Super Bowl. Just like, not even just to win, just to get there. And you don't. I'll tell y'all would have to carry me off that field. Like, y'all would have to carry me off that. Mama, I can't do this. God give his toughest battles. Like, I couldn't do it, man. Y'all would have to. Hey, see Fluid. Well, he did let him down. Look, CJ Stroud let his team down. I'm like, if you want to talk about let this team down, I'll give it to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud let his team down. Josh Allen, man, I'm sorry. I just feel so bad. CJ Stroud, man, that was abysmal. But let me tell you something. He's not my boy Caleb Williams. He's not my boy Caleb Williams. That's the thing, man. And I wanted Justin Fields. I remember falling to my knees at your local bar because Justin Fields was traded on St. Patrick's Day. Oh, I was so distraught. I was like, that means we're getting Caleb Williams. This guy is trash. First year, I was like, well, he's solid. He's inaccurate, but, he can grow. This year, oh my goodness. Like, what is happening? I was like, this is unreal. I was like, this is, he might just be a good luck charm. He might just be a leprechaun. Because the throws that he was putting out there is just unreal. Unreal. He also let the coach down as well. Oh, yeah, he definitely let the coach down. He definitely let the coach. Hey, the coach going to bigger and better. He was like, hey, I'm stuck. I'm sick of being stuck in the playoffs. Let me just start fresh. Because he's going to get another job. I don't think the Ravens, what's it called? I don't think the Ravens hired anybody yet. Now that John Harbaugh's out of there. So definitely, I mean, he's got places. He got places to go for sure. So I think that's pretty cool. On top of that, oh, that was SmackDown. That was SmackDown. Look, that was SmackDown and that was Raw. We covered both of them back to back because, of course, I didn't go live on Friday, but we had a whole lot of fun, man. We had a whole lot of fun. Like I said, if I post something on TikTok, it's mainly just gonna be just clips. And that's what I'm scared of. I don't want it to get, of course, copyrighted, but I'll do what I can. You know what? I'll do what I can. So I think we're gonna have a whole lot of fun with that as well. And a huge shout out to C Fluid. NFL stands for not for long. Hey man, look, that's exactly what it is. Ask those running backs. Ask those running backs that thought they was gonna get a huge payday and were stuck in free agency for a grip. Jonathan Taylor. Oh my goodness. Like, huge, like it's crazy. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, I thought he was gonna get a bag. And the owner was like, we could wait. Or Mr. Ursay was like, we could wait it out. I don't think he's our concern, right now for the time being. Josh Jacobs, all the guys that got scattered around, Aaron Jones. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a wrestling stream. We just keep talking. Not we, but I keep bringing up sports, and we could. But I'm glad that we all know ball, though. That's the best part about it. I'm glad that we know ball. That's what makes it a whole lot easier. But huge shout out to C Fluid for joining the stream. Huge shout out to Devin the Tribal Chief for joining the stream as well. Having a whole lot of fun. Having a whole lot of fun with your boy here. Since I almost hurt myself, but having a whole lot of fun, and on top of that, like I said, and even though this is supposed to be a heel turn 30, we made it to a heel turn 52, and it flew by. It just completely flew by, but it shouldn't happen again. It's like it shouldn't happen again. And I think the only reason why I did is because we also covered SmackDown as well. So next time we'll be on. Like I said, NXT is usually optional. NXT we either slide on or we'll probably do something on Twitch, and then Wednesday is mandatory. We definitely go live for AEW Dynamite. Like we're not for the cover just WWE. And plus we love AEW. Like we have so much fun with AEW. Like, I'm sorry, C Fluid. I'm sorry, you guys. Can you talk about this for 2 seconds? Like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Now, I just gotta get y'all take on this, because this is more so like content creator talk instead of like whoa. This is more like content creator news and stuff instead of like actual wrestling. But for those that don't know, of course, there's content creators that show up to these events. So, like, for example, actually, Devin and I got media credentials to go to AEW, the media scrum for World's End, which is a whole lot of fun. Of course, we should have videos from that as well. But we sat, well, they had way better seats. They were at the barricade. But when we got into the press conference, me and Devin sat in the third row, and in front of us was, of course, Mini Portal, Wheezy, and I'm sorry, I didn't know who the other person was, but it was somebody else. I'm assuming they were friends or close with Wheezy, but it was cool. Who shout out to C Fluid? Congratulations on that. No, I appreciate you. And it honestly, like, AEW has been so awesome to us since I was in Arizona. Like, I randomly was just like, hey, I have a show and I would love to interview anybody that you have. And they were like, sure, Justin Roberts is on his way. I was like, what? Okay, sure. Then literally the very next day, I'm directing and I'm just literally sending an email telling them thank you. And they send me an email back. Hey, Soraya's gonna be in town. I'm like, whoa, like, can she show up today? Like, can she show up now? He was like, no, she'll come tomorrow. They've been so like awesome and so like chill. I'm cold. That's why I'm shaking. I ain't crying. I don't want y'all to be like, oh, he's getting emotional because of no, it's freezing. It's what is it? It's 4 degrees here in Indiana. So I'm shivering a little bit. Even though I'm in a building, in a house, I'm cold. But AEW is just so awesome to us. And how does Minnie look like in person? Huge shout out to C Fluid. Honestly, she look kind of nice. She look kind of nice. She did look kind of nice. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta get out of pocket for 2 seconds. She did look kind of nice. I ain't gonna lie. She looked kind of nice. I gotta be honest with you. Oh, she is short. She's short, but back to my respectful mode. She is cool. They were cool people. They were chill. Like we didn't meet them. We didn't introduce ourselves, but they were honestly like we've been walking past them since the Rumble. It's just like we've been walking past them since the Rumble, honestly. So the Rumble, WrestlePalooza, and then AEW. But like we never really, because me and Devin, like, you guys ever see like the Boondocks where it's just like, yeah, like we would go over there and say hi, but like, you know, like that's dick riding. You know, it's just like that. It's like we just don't want to go over there.
Boing boing.
You know, it's like we didn't want to be those guys. You know, it's like we didn't want to be them over there. So it's like, but we do have a whole lot of love and respect for what they do. But the reason why I wanted to bring them up is because I do think people have them confused with being, I guess, journalists. You know, it's just like I guess people have them confused with being actual like journalists. You know what I mean? Because like when you look at it and you see the clips, I was trying to find the one with them doing the Jeff Hardy celebration at the TNA event. I think it got deleted, which I want to be shocked. But yeah, it looks like it got deleted. But they did a video of them just doing the Jeff Hardy dance, and everybody was just freaking out. Like TNA, instead of bringing in wrestlers, they're just bringing in these influencers and giving them seats and doing this and that and the other. And it's like, honestly, me and Devin, even though this is a podcast, me and Devin went in there with the intention of we're going to work and we're going to go in there and ask questions. You know, we're going to go in there and get content. We're going to go in there and work. You know, it's just like that's going to be our MO there. And this isn't shade. This isn't like me saying anything negative, but like, even with Devin, the first intention we had going into the scrum was we ain't finna walk out of here without asking a question. You know, it's just like, I don't care what we do. I don't care if we got to tackle Tony Khan. Tony, hey, if I could just get you to answer 2 questions. Like, you know, I was like, we going to walk out of here asking a question. Man, thank goodness that Willow Nightingale was graceful enough to ask us a question. And then won a title right afterwards. So also got to, you know, give her a whole lot of love there. But they just sat there. Like, I'm not trying to be like, they just literally just sat there. Like, I think everybody in that room was there. They asked a question. They reported on it. It looks like they took notes. And honestly, they just chill, which isn't a problem. Like, they're influencers. They're there to share their experience. They're there to give their thoughts and their intel on how the event was and what was going on. But I think people have them confused with what I think the people have them confused with journalists. And me and Devin aren't journalists at all, but I feel like we went there on a mission. You know, we had a plan at the end of the day. So I definitely think that was the best part of it all. And so huge shout out to C Fluid. You asked Willow a question at the scrum. Sure did, brother. You want to, I mean, let's see. Oh, it's on Twitter. Yeah, it's on Twitter. Okay, cool. I was about to say I don't want to go on YouTube and then get the clicking through. Let's see. I'm still on Mini Portal's page because I was looking at the video. I wasn't being a creep. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's go on the Hill Turns page. You guys can scroll through, get the business. I thought this was funny. You guys seen this Lyra Valkyria video, which is pretty much her promoting the Royal Rumble, of course, coming to you in theaters. Of course, bring me. You gotta run me that card, brother. Run my card with the quickness, like, because I need that. I need that. But where was it at? Where was it at? Oh, okay, here it goes. I got you guys. Huge shout out to Prince. What's good, bro? How you living? How is you living, my brother? Well, what do we have? Oh, okay, you can see. Whoa, you guys see who's trending? Look. Honestly, look, I don't know where's it at. There it goes. You guys see that? You guys see who's trending? And honestly, I'm a Christian man, so I don't know who she is, but she seems to be a very important woman that's trending on social media. Some stranger. I don't know. Oh, but I'm sorry. Off topic. Willow Nightingale. This is my question to Willow Nightingale.
We've got one more question at the back.
Isaiah's Power 92.
Hello, Isaiah.
So sorry. I'm sorry.
At the back.
Isaiah's Power 92.
Hello, Isaiah.
So for pinning Mercedes Moné, as well as the recent slide that she's been going through at the tail end of this year, do you believe that there's an extra vote of confidence going into this match against Mercedes Moné?
An extra vote of confidence for me or for her? For me? I wouldn't take it that way, because I think sometimes that's exactly the kind of thing that is someone's missed.
You see that? She started this question at 35 seconds. She answered this. This was a minute answer. She gave me a minute answer. First off, if I could frown myself for a second, why do I sound like the typical nerd just sitting like in his mom's basement? Slide that she's been going through at the tail end of this year. When Mercedes Moné and the I'm sorry, I just had to get through that. I was just like, I just sound so awful. But first off, to start off with that, for starters, the backstory behind all this, because the reason why me and Devin crack up about this, I wrote down 3 questions. These 3 questions were specifically for Tony Khan, and I maybe had one for MJF. They brought out Chris Statlander. I was like, okay, I don't have a question for you. Then they brought out Willow Nightingale in the conglomeration, and I was like, I don't want to ask none of you guys a question, but I was like, I know everybody in their mind gonna ask Tony Khan a question, so I was like, I gotta think of something. I just wrote something on a piece of. I just wrote it on a piece of paper, thought about it, went over it in my head. She said my name, and I folded. It was like, and I folded, just completely folded, lawn chair style. And so, at the end of the day, you live and you learn. You know, it's just like you live and you learn. So it's like, at the end of the day, I wish I would have said that with a little bit. If I could critique myself, it should have been said with a little bit more confidence. It should have been said with a little bit more power. But man, yeah, no, I gotta clip that. Hello, Isaiah. Is that a ringtone? Is that who calling me? You know, it's like, is that a ringtone? But yeah, that was my question of Willow Nightingale, and it was cool. Like I said, it was a cool event. Like AEW was just super chill, and we left out of there at 1:00. Me and Devin got home at 2 because it was an hour away from us. Obviously, you know, doing the math. Steiner math, but yeah. Oh, that's why she's trending, of course. But yeah, that's why it was a long drive. Huge shout out to C Fluid. He said, "Great question," and he also says, "You did great, sir." Nah, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. It was a whole lot of fun. Like I said, everybody, their mom asked Tony Khan a question, and even when he said I was gonna answer everybody's question, I didn't even raise. I was just like, "Look, it's 1:00. You've answered everybody's question in 20-minute intervals." It's just like, you know, it's like, what are you going to tell me that's any different? You know, it's just like what you have already said. I feel like I'm going to ask the question and everybody's like, brother, like, I'm pretty sure he said this like an hour ago. How you shout out to C Fluid? He said, "Oh, did you guys speed back home?" Nah, the traffic was actually pretty smooth. It's just, man, the power of monsters, the power of Monster energy drinks, man. Just one though. I only drank one. But yeah, it was tough. And adrenaline, because we were hyped. Me and Devin got in. We had to finesse our way in, but we got in. Look at that. We definitely had to do some finessing. Not in like no negative way, obviously, but we had to do some maneuvering. And it definitely it worked out way better than we thought it could. So it was, you know, we were blessed. We were just absolutely blessed that it happened. And and it was so cool because when we walked in, and Devin actually talked about this as well. We walked in, and the guy that was at the front desk was the same guy that walked in with Paige, that walked in with Justin Roberts in Arizona with me. So I was like, he was like, what's the names? I was like, Isaiah Jackson. And he was like, oh. And I was like, oh. He was like, hey, how are you? I was like, oh, I'm good. And you? I was like, and so Devin was like, oh, so you know people here. I was like, I don't know people. I just know him. You know, it's like just him specifically. You know, it's like Saraya ain't gonna come walking around here. It's like, even if she did, she's gonna be like, oh, you're you know, it's like who was like you know, like she gonna hit me one of those. But honestly, like I said, AEW is just so chill. Like AEW is just so very open with their not necessarily with their product, but like if you're serious about what you do, you know, they're gonna invest, you know. And that's and there was actually while we're on the top, I'm sorry. I know I said this. This is the Hill Turn 30. We're an hour and some change in. I'm sorry. This is my last thing. But we actually met some amazing people. And I gotta give them some shout outs. Like I feel like I'd be so bogus if I didn't. And we haven't. And so I'm and saying that I'm bogus. You know, I was like, but a huge shout out to Mike. We actually sat next to Mike Vice. And the funny story with that is me and Devin walked in and we were sitting down, and there were guys, of course, doing the AEW All Access where you walk down the ramp, take pictures in the ring, take pictures on the announcement table. You know, it was like take pictures with the title. And I was just telling Devin, I was like, man, I would love to do something like that, but you got to have money. You got to have money and time. Like these people probably don't got no jobs. They probably living their best life. You know, they probably just got a bag and they just, you know, I was like, and they just travel all over the world. And Mike Vice was like, bro, you making me feel awful here. He was like, I travel, I do this and that and the other. And Mike was so like, he has charisma through this world, bro. Like he is just absolutely hilarious. He showed up, of course, when Raw was in Brooklyn. He shows up to these events, and you got to give him a whole lot of love. He has a video with 3 million views, one 3 years ago. He says that he just emailed AEW. He said they emailed him back like the day before AEW Dynamite. He lives in New York. He just packed his things and just showed up and was right next to me and Devin. I was like, what a legend. Like he was, and he's hilarious. Like if you guys ever get the chance, subscribe to this dude. He already has 26K. You know, it's like subscribe to Mike Vice. Mike Vice was absolutely hilarious. He was a cool dude. We also ran into, of course, where you guys at? Where you guys at? Nope, that's not you guys. There it goes. I like I promoted something I shouldn't. Dang, where you guys at? Let me see if I can find them on Twitter. But honestly, it was a whole lot of fun. It was like I can't complain. AEW blessed us. AEW blessed us through and through. So, but a huge shout out to Mike Vice. Mike Vice was hilarious. He put us on game through with AEW and some of course the backstories and whatnot. Because excuse me. Because like I said, me and Devin have been wrestling our whole lives. Like I think, and I have a witness around here somewhere in the ether if they can hear me. But it was. I felt like, and I always tell this story. I felt like watching TNA at my grandma's house was like a cardinal sin. I felt like it was wrestling or I felt like it was WWE or nothing. You know, it's just like, and just growing up with that, nobody watched. You know, I was like, I didn't care for TNA. You know, it was like maybe my sister saw it on a couple occasions. You know, it was. I remember it saying being on Spike TV, but other than that, like, you know, we weren't watching WWE at my grandma's house. You know, it was like, and my grandma's house was the pinnacle of wrestling. You know, it was like, you got to go through my grandma. That was the heart dungeon. You know, that was the Jackson family heart dungeon. You know, it's like to be a wrestling fan, you got to go through my grandma's house. You know, so it's like, honestly, just looking back at hearing Mike talk about, of course, Kazuchika Okada, talking about guys like Konosuke Takeshita, and just listening to the backstories of it all was just legendary. You know, just absolutely legendary. So I had a whole lot of fun with those boys, and I hope they had a whole lot of fun with us. Because me and Devin was acting a fool too. Like we can't lie, we was acting a fool too. So we definitely shared in the sentiment. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm getting up out of here. It's an hour in. What is it? It's 11 o'clock. It is not 11 o'clock. It is not 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. Good night, y'all. I gotta go to sleep. I'm so upset with myself. Oh, I'm so upset with myself. This whole time I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a 30-minute show. It's gonna be pretty smooth. I'm gonna get up out of here. It's 11 o'clock. Man, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys on Wednesday because I'm just gonna go straight to sleep. I'll see you guys next time.